The fall of the house of Usher. In a cool and wet evening of autumn, a man was riding a horse to go to the house of his old friend called Brother Usher, because his friend sent a letter to him saying that he was very ill. When he arrived to the house, he saw a black lake around the house instantly. He felt cold and afraid. He and his horse walked along to a narrow road. Finally, he arrived to the house, and a servant opened it and took the horse to a stable. When he was inside of the house, the corridors and the stables were dark. Then the servant opened the wood door. A man was lying in a sofa. That man was Mr. Roderick. He was pale and looked really ill, and his hair was gray, but they were the same age. The man thought that Mr. Roderick was sleeping, but when he entered to the room, he walked out. Mr. Roderick said hello, but didn't shake his hand because he is too ill and he can't to another person. The man sat down and waited to the servant to have dinner. At the moment, a woman called Madeleine came into the room. She looked ill too. Mr. Roderick told her that there was his old friend, but she didn't say anything. That woman was Mr. Roderick's sister. She doesn't sleep and didn't wait at the that strange. The servants take the man for hot dinner. They take it, and the man go to his room. At the end of the dinner, he wasn't comforted. He felt strange, but he can't leave because that he rode long. The day happened. Mr. Roderick took care of his friend and played the guitar, and Madeleine didn't come back, so the man didn't ask it for her. They start to remember when they were boys, but sometimes Mr. Roderick turned his head to the left and to the right, just like he was hearing something, and he put a face of afraid to the man. Didn't like the house of Mr. Roderick, but he is his friend, so he must be there long. The day happened. One day, Mr. Roderick said that Madeleine was dead, and he said to the men to help him to bury Madeleine under the house. That frightening, but they did it. Then they buried Mr. Roderick took out the man out of the room and kissing she for many days. He didn't eat and turned his head to the left and to the right, like if he was mad. The man could lead, and he thought about that strange house. Instantly, Mr. Roderick came into the room of the man. His eyes were bright and will. He asked if the man heard or saw anything like some strange. He said that he will understand. He opened the windows, and it was raining. A few seconds later, a crash sounded and the floor moved. Mr. Roderick said that Madeleine is going for him. Then Madeleine appeared, but she was with many blood on her face and her wrist. She took his brother's hands and put his arms around his brother. but they both screamed and died. He ran away, and then he looked back to the house, and it falls into the lake with a crash. Then there was a silence.